Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about one of her favorite things, art technology.
Oh yeah.
You're so excited. She was even like right before we recorded this, she's like, I don't know if I want to be in this one.
I didn't want to be, but he made me.
Because it's more interesting when you're here.
Well, I don't know if this one will be because I don't know much about it. But
well,
anyway, continue.
You can chime in because
I use actual real tools like paper. I don't usually use Photoshop.
I'm a real artist, not a poser.
No, I just don't use Photoshop that much. I mean, I can, I just don't.
We're gonna talk about this because this is not going well for Adobe. Adobe has been adding more and more AI tools to Photoshop in particular. And at first it was just like, the generative AI fill, and we've got some filters that are neural filters. I noticed that in the new version of Photoshop. Well, now they're just like, you know what? Yeah, why just retouch photos and artwork when we can just create it whole cloth? We'll just make it all up from prompts.
Oh boy.
And it's not going well, considering the backlash against AI from a lot of artists that use Photoshop to do digital painting and to color comic books and to do all this stuff. They're like, yeah, this is a shit take. But this goes back to what we've been saying. I'm like, you don't have to agree with AI. You don't have to like AI. But it's obviously not going anywhere. When it's being built into Photoshop, and like pretty much everybody who does digital art uses Photoshop for something, it's kind of here to stay. But I don't think now would have been a good time to make such a big deal about this, because now it's going to be harder to tell too. Because if you export it as like a Photoshop file, your quote unquote original as a Photoshop file, and you're a digital painter and you spent like 20 hours doing a painting, and somebody's like, yeah, it's just AI, because you can't really.
Well, that's true, because everybody's just going to assume that was just AI. Yes.
Yeah. So
it's getting out of hand. The AI stuff is getting way out of hand.
It is. I think the cart is getting away from the horse. I think it's helpful in some ways. I actually do appreciate the like you can have it go in and tweak images or backgrounds. But my favorite new thing now, especially for thumbnails with Photoshop, is the ability to just knock out the background automatically. So if you get an image of a character or something you're talking about in the video, you can just knock the background out using AI.
Yeah, remember you had to do the lasso.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then you never got all the pixels, and now it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty damn close. And if the background especially is kind of blurred out or it's all white or whatever, it's perfect. It's like just boom, remove background. I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, that's like 20 to 30 minutes of my time that's saved. So that kind of stuff I think is fine. Tweaking damaged photos, going at, or extending photos, that kind of stuff I think is fine. This is not going to go well. We're going to talk about it. Not a lot of people are talking about it. I just happened to see it yesterday because I follow a lot of artists, but people are like, yeah, you don't know your audience very well. It doesn't
seem like a lot of people are retweeting it I don't know if people know about it.
I don't think they do, but they're going to after this video. So we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo.
I need to be replaced with AI.
I was going to joke. We're going to start AIing this?
Because I keep making mistakes. I'm like, if I were a computer, I wouldn't make the mistakes. I just would talk in nonsensical fashion about things like I do already. Anyway, this is the Photoshop Twitter account. And I noticed it because I think Ben Temple-Smith, actually, who's a comic book professional, he retweeted it. They said, yeah, text to image is magic, guys. Be sure to try out the new feature in the latest Photoshop beta version. Little fingers like, oh, we're so nervous how it's gonna go. So yeah, you literally can just a fairy with green wings. Well, who the hell wants to spend 20 hours painting a fairy with green wings when Photoshop can just do it for you? Like, this is where we're at, right? And that's better than I could do. And the thing is you're not going to know the difference in a lot of cases, because let's be honest, a lot of stuff was initially, I don't know if it's still the case now, but initially it was trained on pre-existing artwork. So, and if you've got that, you're like, oh, here's my Photoshop original. So now, like, for people to be able to tell that you actually did it, you're probably going to have to show yourself drawing in real time, like do a capture of you drawing something, or people aren't going to believe it, or just deliberately fuck it up. So people are like, oh yeah, it was clearly a human. Clearly a human. Just make sure the right number of fingers are on it. They've actually gotten that right too.
I was gonna say, I think they fixed that, haven't they?
They fixed that. So here's some of the responses. We'll go out to the retweets, but they've been really pushing this. And I feel like not enough people are talking about it because, you know, again, when you've got all these artists that are like, you know, we're against Wizards of the Coast using AI art. We're against anybody even using AI art in obvious AI art and advertising or any of that stuff in any capacity. But Photoshop itself, the tool 95% of these people are using, has it built in right now. It is going to make it so hard to tell, you know, what is going on here. So yeah, Ben Templesmith, how to destroy your user base in one easy tweet. Pilgrim says this kind of feels like a kick in the nuts to all those insanely talented artists who use Photoshop for concept art. Yeah. Promoting this over actual artists is weird. Why wouldn't they switch to Procreate? Oh, just wait. It's coming to everything, guys.
You're not gonna be able to avoid it.
No, Clip Studio, which is what I use for line art for comics. Clip Studio now, the new version of it has some, now it's not as extensive as this. It's not like just whole cloth creating stuff. But they do have some new tools that they're using, like perspective correction, I think, is one. And you can just like lay down some color strokes and it'll kind of guess how you want to color stuff. So it might speed up flatting. That kind of stuff I'm down with because I'm like, this is just kind of like time consuming drudgery. But like we're talking Photoshop now is going to paint everything for you. And how is the AI trained? Do you pay the artist for having their art used as a training tool for the AI? Wouldn't it be devious if, since Photoshop has been connected to the internet for so long, that they're just watching all these artists paint? They're just taking note of how you do this, how you draw that. Like, oh yeah, that's how you do that. How do I cancel my subscription? This is probably AI answering him. Beep, boop, bop. Hi there. We're really sorry for this frustrating experience. Would you mind DMing us? So we can take a look at your account and see what we can do. Happy to help. Thank you. Could you like not turn a legitimately bad thing into memes? It's a bot response. Yeah, it probably is. Actually, most of the customer service tweets I've seen lately are AI generated. I'm starting to think the entire company is just run by bots now, or at least soon it will be. Promote the artist, not the AI art. Wow, fuck you. This is Massey Makes Comics. I think they make comics. I think they do. And I pay for this. You have to. This is the thing. Like Adobe took away the ability, I believe, to buy just a standalone copy of the software years ago. And I remember a lot of people were upset. They're like, wait, I have to pay a monthly subscription. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly why you have to pay a monthly subscription. So when they make unpopular decisions, guess what? You're stuck with it. Because that's how
you have to switch to something else completely.
You have to switch to something else. Do you realize who your customers are?
Customers.
Customers.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know it's not AI.
Horrible marketing job.
How can I cancel my edging subscription? Would you mind DMing us? The exact same thing. Yes, we're here to help. So your users have lost all their creativity, can't make anything, and the AI has to do it for them.
And answer, questions on Twitter.
Disgusting, disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting. Here's a free alternative to Photoshop. So yeah, don't forget torrents. People are actually calling for alternatives, and they're showing you what the alternatives are. This could actually be the end of Photoshop, because I know a lot of people were pissed off that they went to the subscription model, and their rationale for that at the time, it's been like 10 or 12 years since they pretty much forced you to go with the Adobe Creative Cloud or whatever the hell they call it now, the subscription, was that so many people were pirating the software that like one person was basically paying for like 200 people to have Photoshop, which is, they're like, that's why it's so expensive, guys. That's why Photoshop costs, like at the time, it was like $300 to $700 or whatever it was for a copy of Photoshop. And they're like, because you're paying for everybody else who uses it for free. And that was like, well, so we're going to start charging individuals. And that was like, well, this way we keep you updated. And they always have a reason for why you have to pay monthly for Photoshop, and they keep creeping the price up. And now it's like, yeah, just Photoshop just does it for you.
I like too how they break it down by where you can actually use it on, like, iOS, Windows, Apple,
A lot of people already have jumped to, GIMP. And I know, like I said, with drawing, I a long time ago actually switched to Clip Studio because I do mostly comic art, and it's better for comic art because you can actually, lay pages out, lay books out in one clip, no pun intended, but it does animation stuff.
I know
too.
animation. A lot of people use Toon Boom or Blender. Yeah.
Yeah, but all of these things eventually, I hate to be that guy. Eventually, they're going to incorporate some degree of AI. But again, I feel there's a difference between helpful, I guess what they call it, ethical AI usage. Ethical AI usage, which is it helps people make stuff. It doesn't do it for them. You're getting a tutor to help you with your homework so you understand your homework. You're not having them do it for you. You're not paying for the answers or whatever. But even now, like, kids are totally doing it, right? You can always pirate Adobe products. It's always morally correct. Ta-da, done without a dumb feature like that. Dorkly. Hey, Adobe, beyond the fact that you're selling out your loyal paying customers for the sole purpose of chasing growth, the thing your AI made sucks shit. It's bad. Not only are you trying to kill your customers' chance to earn a living, but you suck at doing it. Stop it. Here are Photoshop artworks made with Photoshop tools like intended. Clip Studio. Yeah, here we go. Clip Studio Paint is a really good piece of software, by the way. I make all my art, commercial art included in Clip Studio. I agree with you. I like Clip Studio quite a bit. It is a little dated. I mean, it's very much.
It would take a lot to update it to AI then.
It would.
So you're more likely to not be, outed by AI anytime soon.
Yeah. So people are pissed. I don't understand the logic in this. Yeah, if Adobe isn't paying artists for their art, don't pay for Adobe. Yeah, they're all telling people pirate Adobe. I think this is going to be a huge blow because artists and creatives were the biggest user base for Adobe products. And they're basically like, yeah, we don't even need the artists anymore. We can just paint shit without you. You can just put some prompts in. Anybody can be.
But they didn't read the room.
They didn't read the room, guys. It's not a good look. Not a good look. All the tropes. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.